Talk to girls my age at work during lunch. Becomes daily thing to look forward to. They are both engaged and talk about wedding plans. Hey, we've been leaving you out of the conversation. What are your wedding plans, Anon? I've never touched a woman. It's just never been a priority for me. I live in a totally different world. None of the guys I know have ever had GFs either. Conversation continues pretty nicely. No weird vibes I can pick up on. Misplay? Or will they hook me up with their female friends now? Oh, the tiny brain Anon has no idea what this conversation has done for his life. Yes, that's right. Absolutely nothing. If they didn't act creeped out, they probably weren't and don't care about you. And on the flip side, if they're all engaged and probably have kids, all of their friends are engaged and or have kids. So basically they can't hook you up even if they wanted to. What? What is this music? What's going on? Married. Wife's sister is married too. Her and her husband have a 12-year-old boy and 8-year-old girl. Girl is playing in the backyard with her brother. Brother goes inside to get them drinks. Sister vanishes by the time he comes back outside. Family goes nuts. She's missing for 2 days. Spend 2 sleepless days helping them search for her in the woods and fields behind their house. Suddenly shows up outside the house. Wife happened to be there at the time. Calls everyone to get them home. Her family takes her to the ER. Filthy, stinks, a little weak but otherwise okay. She doesn't remember where she was. Bring her home after a couple days. Of course, her family clings to her the next week or so. Eventually things go more or less back to normal. Girl is a little off though. Very clingy to her mom. No one really pays attention, figuring she's just upset after all that happens. After about 4 weeks of her being back, her mom collapses on her way to work. They take her to the ER. Doctor says she's extremely fatigued. She said everything was pretty normal. She slept a lot and ate right. Spends a night in the hospital and is released. Collapses again, this time at work. Spends more time in the hospital. Doctor says she might need to take some time off work. She agrees. Her and her husband decide to take a vacation. Ask if we could keep the kids for a couple weeks while they were away. Of course. Her mom is getting really reluctant to leave the girl. Not surprising given what happened. Kind of weird about it though. In tears they are dropping them off with us. Just over the girl though. The boy is already upstairs playing Xbox. Don't think much of it. Couple days pass. Girl is a little strange. Doesn't want to play games with us or watch movies with her brother. Just kind of hangs out with my wife. Not doing really anything, just sitting with her. Write it off given what happened. Her mom is calling sometimes 10 times a day. Sometimes screaming and crying to talk to her. Brother-in-law apologizes for her bothering us at all hours of the night. After a couple more days, brother-in-law calls. Says she's really sick, throwing up. Thinks she probably ate something bad and they'll likely cut the trip short and come home as soon as she is feeling a little better. Mentions they haven't done anything anyway because she just stays in the hotel room crying to go home to their daughter. Calls back the next day. Says she felt a little better and they were going to go ahead and stay until their original flight home. Late in the 2nd week with the kids. Wife is coming in from the garden. Staggers a little, falls to her knee. Made sure she was alright and asked if she wanted to go to the doctor or something. She said she just felt a little lightheaded and was fine. Insists she spent some time in bed. Little girl wants to sit in the bedroom with her. Explains she isn't feeling well and needs some rest. Kid is rather hateful about it. Whatever. Made the little shit spend the night downstairs watching cartoons and shit with her brother and I. Wife slept for hours. Wife spends the rest of the week not feeling so great. Always a little dizzy. Brother and sister-in-law finally come home. Pick up their kids. Happy to see them go. Wife cries. Hey, it's not like we can see them whenever we want. She's really weird about it. Spends most of the night crying. Next day. Wife is insane. Wants to call off work and go to her sister's house. Totally not like her. Things get to the point I physically restrain her to keep her from going over there. Tell her she has been feeling crappy the last few days and needs to spend some time relaxing. All evening/night we fight and bicker about it. Next day she wakes up. She wants to call off again. If you feel good enough to go over there, why don't you just go to work and then visit them on the way home? She agrees. We go to work. We work in the same building. She ends up getting sick and throws up. We go home together. She's shaking and can't keep anything down. We go to the hospital. Doctor says she's showing symptoms of withdrawal and asked if she drank heavily. Never drank before. They drug test her. Nothing. She has a really rough night. Feels a lot better the next day. Wife's sister gets sick again. Collapses one evening after work. Hit her head on the edge of the kitchen table. Spent several days in the hospital. Little boy wakes his dad up one night while she's in the hospital. Said the little girl got out of bed and went downstairs. Brother-in-law freaks out and begins searching for her. She's laying in the yard, freezing. He immediately takes her to the ER. She spends a couple days in the hospital with her mom. Eats like a moose, perks right up after a couple days. Vaguely remembers the past month or so. Acts totally normal from then on. Her mom stops getting sick. Wife is around her without getting sick. She plays games with me and her brother when they're over. I don't think it was their daughter that came back the first time. I wouldn't venture to guess what it was, but it did something to her mom and my wife while it was around them. It made them sick, weak, and created some sort of dependence on it. Scares the hell out of me. Oh, this one was creepy alright. Is this one of those skinwalkers you guys warned me about? Either way, if you guys like long and creepy stuff like this, be sure to let me know in the comments. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Bye!